Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, my buddy Walker Wade. And we're trying to bring you guys as much content and footage of AT&T, the Cowboys, the temperature here in Dallas and things. You know, the thing that's funny, it's not funny, it's actually sad, is the amount of support and love that you feel from Cowboy fans, but also the amount of disappointment. This guy right here is, you can't find a more diehard fan out there, that when you look around here and you see Gil Brandt and Drew Pearson and Tex Strand, Tony Dorsett, Tom Landry, Leroy Jordan, Roger Staubach, Don Perkins, Bob Lilly, Don Meredith, Chuck Howley,
White, Bob Hayes, Cliff Harris, Rayfield Wright. List goes on. Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Charles Ailey, Darren Woodson, Jimmy Johnson, Larry Allen, DeMarcus Ware. There's a bunch of other guys that should
most
be in
of the
there
guys that are Hall of Famers, that are cornerstone players in the NFL. Now, let me be clear. After talking and meeting this Minnesota Viking fan who has never won a Super Bowl, they've been to 4. It's embarrassing to say that we are starved, but we are starved. And this is where you look at this palace that's really empty. Let's be clear. When you think about the Dallas Cowboys and Super Bowls, it has nothing to do with this place. This place doesn't even have an NFC championship to it. This is a hollow vessel. I'm sorry, that's what it is.
Built by the hands of those who played before this was ever conceived.
Exactly. It's great. Now, don't get me wrong. As great as this place is, and it's incredible, when you go up here and you see the twin concourses and all the places, you think of the thousands of TV monitors that you can see the game. You see this concourse here with the marble countertops where you can stand and watch the games and stuff. It's incredible, but it just feels hollow and cold. It doesn't feel the heat of it.
It's also built east to west.
True. And of course, you get the sunlight that's coming in through these windows
and when
and
you
stuff.
tell Jerry to shut it, he just says, "Get over it."
Yeah. But they'll close the curtains now for an actor. A singer. But I have to say, Jerry built a house for losers, like Charles Haley said. This whole thing where Jerry Jones, I built this, that, the other, that's great, you did. You built this place. But you're not building the legacy in this place. And so the question is, and I've been sitting here talking with Wade since I ended my stream, how do we get this thing back? If I were Jerry Jones and somebody said to me this morning, and I need to put this in a clip, she said, owners own. They don't run the team. And that's the first problem. Jerry, this is incredible.
Jerry wants to be too involved in football operations.
You're 82. Loomis, who right now you have to question what they're doing in New Orleans, is 66. Everybody else is under 60. That's a GM. You do not relate to the players of today in the same way. Stephen Jones, your son? Hey, it's great that he's your son. But I'm sorry, as far as managing a cap and understanding the nuances of it, not the guy. And as Wade put it, you actually now have to kind of question some of your scouting department because we have failed so often. Just think about our second round picks. Diggs is the last second round pick that you've had that's done anything. Diggs is the last second round pick that we have had that has done anything. When you think about guys like Tristan Hill, I hate to say Schoonmaker, but I'm about ready to give up on him, even though it's still pretty young. Sam Williams, who's kind of like Randy Gregory-esque. Randy Gregory, who is Randy Gregory. And Sam Williams right now that's injured. A second round pick should be an impact guy on your roster from day one. And we're still waiting for our guys. Yeah, we're still waiting for our guys to do something. That's wasted. And you have to look right now, your number one guy needs to be an impact guy day one. And your last two, not even close. Mozzie, Tyler Guyton. I will say, although I will give a little bit of a pause, at least you traded back and you did get an impact guy in Cooper Beebe with the third round pick that you picked up on the trades. But we have to do different than what we're doing. My hope is, at this point, Wade, what do you think if the Cowboys were to just finish up the season and literally not win another game except beating the Eagles tonight? Tomorrow night.
I'd be okay with it.
Would that be enough to finally get Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to realize they got to do something drastic?
Yeah, I think it'd get them to realize that they can't just rely on the draft. That they put too much stock in their players they drafted. And, we don't need free agents. We'll manage. We'll get to the playoffs. And Jerry, it's like Brian Broaddus. We were watching a video last night. It's like Brian Broaddus said. Jerry's in denial. Mm-hmm. He believes this team is these players and this team is better, but the proof is in the pudding. No, they're not. They're not making catches. They're dropping passes. They're making stupid penalties. Mm-hmm. They're missing tackles. They're getting ran over. They're not able to score. They're doing everything bad. Coaching is bad. Jerry's in denial right now.
Here's what I'll say though. When you think about, what's his name? We went 5-11 3 years in a row. Dave Campo years. That you wouldn't think that Bill Parcells would be a coach that Jerry would want because Parcells wanted that control, and he is, a strong ego. But we hit rock bottom with Dave Campo for those 3 years of 5-11, and that was where Jerry Jones finally said, "You know what? I got to get somebody in here who knows what they're doing." And in that time with Bill Parcells, they actually went out and they got more talent. They brought in Terry Lynn. They brought in Drew Bledsoe. They brought in T.O. They brought in who else did they bring in?
They brought in Tank Johnson.
Yeah, Tank Johnson. Yeah,
Aiken Adele.
And that was that team in 2007. That was the one that Bill Parcells did. That team was loaded. We had, I think, 13 Pro Bowlers on that team.
It was loaded for bear. And
see, that was when.
And
I'm going to say,
Kyle Kosar.
Those Pro Bowl players are different than the Pro Bowl players are now, because that's when they still had the Pro Bowl in Hawaii and players actually wanted to go. Now players are like, I don't want to go to Orlando. I'm not going. So then they just name somebody. Sometimes you're down 6, 7, 8 guys on the list before you get to a guy and they'll say yes, I'll go. So being a Pro Bowler now, it's not the same as back then. We had 13 Pro Bowlers on that team, and unfortunately walked into a buzzsaw with the Giants and got beat on their way to
Lightning in a bottle Giants. That's what that was.
Yeah. So
they beat and defeated New England. That was straight up lightning in a bottle.
I know you want Bill Belichick, but
I need someone to fix the defense,
but I need somebody to fix Jerry.
I think Bill Belichick could fix Jerry and tell Jerry, I've got 8 rings. You need to sit your ass down. Like, let Will McClay and the scouts and let us build this team up.
Yeah, I need football people doing football things at this point
and
that aren't over the hill.
Will McClay's got to take responsibility too. I hope if we brought her to Bill Belichick, he would tell him, Will, we need to get better at linebacker, and we need to get better at defensive line. Y'all aren't doing enough to supplement the defensive line or the linebackers.
Yep.
You're not gonna be able to. The offensive line has to be rebuilt. They're not just gonna be able to draft. They're gonna have to go and sign a Pro Bowl offensive lineman during this free agents frenzy. They're gonna have to.
And another tour. But if you're Jerry Jones, you've won your 3 Super Bowls.
You got to protect Dak now. His leg's injured. You have to keep him upright. Unfortunately, Dak's getting. Tony Romo, it was the collarbone and the back, and now Dak, it's the one leg that got snapped. So now you have to protect the investment.
Yeah.
You got to do all you can.
Well, you've got to fix the offensive line. You got to get a running game. And you can see, if you go around the NFL right now and you look at Barkley, what he's doing, how that's helping the Eagles, you look at Derrick Henry with Baltimore, how those offenses are doing. When you can get 150-plus yards from your running game, it makes your quarterback that much more effective. So it is what it is. So hopefully we'll get game time and prime time back, and we'll head on over to the Village and hang out with the Law Nation. Nothing but the best. Peace.